Yeah, hello and welcome to another, probably rather short episode of the weekly Spielworxx chat. And it is the last episode of season 2. My name is Uli Blennemann, and I hope you are all well, that this shitty year is ending now, finally, and that you had some nice and quiet days and maybe are still enjoying your holidays. And there is Nick. Hello, Nick. Good to see you. And hello, Matze. Good seeing you as well. And if you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat window. And as always, I'm interested in what did you play? What are you playing? Is there anything interesting that you played recently? So I'm interested in this. And hello to Quebec. Hello, Claude. Good seeing you. I hope you are well. And Matt, hello. And to North Carolina, I guess it is. Hopefully, this is true. Um, yeah, so let me start with a look back to 2021. Spielworxx, we first moved Tharos in this year by Bernd Scholz to Kickstarter and Spieleschmiede. And we were successful with a modest campaign, but had some production problems. So cubes were too large and the wrong play aids were first printed. All these problems and all these issues have been rectified. And so this fine game is available from my store. So if interested, please check out Tharos. And hello, Peter. Good seeing you. I'm well, and I hope you are too. And remember, Peter did some excellent work on the solo mode of Oranienburger Kanal, a game by Uwe Rosenberg. That is supposed to come out next year, and that is a 1 or 2 player game. And Peter's name, Einzelspiel, so solitaire game, already hints you in the direction what Peter often does in gaming. So later in 2021, we had Matt Wolf squaring Circleville, also at Kickstarter and Spieleschmiede, and that campaign was also successful. And well, the problem in these days for small publishers is that you hardly get noticed at all. So 95, probably even more, of the so-called gaming journalists, and I'm here really critical, are focusing on the hype train, so on the games that are currently hyped. That's why you are always seeing the same pictures of games, the same games, the same videos. And in my period, really, in my opinion, Squaring Circleville is one of the finest Kennerspiele, so this is a German term for gamers games of this year, and I really think so. And yet only recently it did get the attention it deserved, and a lot is because of Rado's excellent video where he said it is his game of December. So Matt, very well done, wonderful game. And there's Trashorama. Hey, Uli finally caught a stream. Ah, this is Chad. Wonderful. Good seeing you. So yeah, Chad, I hope we will meet. Yeah, well, sometimes maybe next year at a US convention or at Essen. Nobody knows what will happen with Omicron, so we can just be hopeful. But it's good seeing you here. Wonderful. Yeah, and there is a brute from Brooklyn. Daniel, good seeing you as well. And Matt is saying just bribe the jury members, only problem solved. Yeah, well, if it's that easy, well, I can at least try. Maybe at the gathering, chat is saying. I doubt that I will make it to the gathering. That is again in April, right? And this is probably too early for me for the US. If I'm traveling to the US, next year I'm looking into Origins in June, or into PAX Unplugged, which is of course at the very end of the year in Philadelphia. But this is easier for me to reach because it's on the eastern coast. And of course you can say gathering, it's also basically eastern coast, but for me either flying into New York and then taking train, or going to Canada and then taking train or bus over to Niagara Falls isn't that easy. Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, Nick, April LariaCon, if this is happening in Portugal, again, Portugal from Germany, seen from Germany, is again a high risk country. We'll see what will happen. So I'm all for that, and yeah, would be really great. So after Squaring Circle, we put the Smoky Valley by Claude Serrois on pre-order in October, and the game was and is only available from my website. So it wasn't at Kickstarter, but it was available also via Spielschmiede, and it will be delivered to everybody in January, so next month, and I hope to get a final production date real soon. So probably I know when it will produce in January, in early January, and it is, in my, of course, very objective opinion, one of the best expert games. So it's a notch above Squaring Circle in recent times. So really, really great expert game to my mind. Daniel is saying, I wish I could remember if I'm getting a copy of Smoky Valley or not. You? No. Of course, Daniel, I will make sure. You may have to write me again, but I will make sure that you are getting a copy. And also in 2021, I got, in very limited numbers, I got a Tribune by Kalle Schmiel, my good friend Kalle Schmiel from Munich, and also in limited numbers I got Crescent City Cargo by my good friend Jason Dinger here, because both games were licensed right from the start to Stronghold games, so that's why I only got very limited numbers. So they appeared and immediately were sold out. Yeah, and what else happened at Spielworxx this year? I got the second printing of the German edition of Paxparmia by Whirligig. So the first printing of the German edition was delivered in late 2020, and the second printing was done in late 21, immediately sold out too. But this was largely because of the pre-orders were already in March, so that I knew how many copies I'd need. And since mid-December, so just I think since the 15th, Oath by Cole Worley and Leader Games is available for pre-order in a German language edition, and that pre-order is still active. So here is, by the way, the URL for my store. So if you are interested, of course it's a German edition, then please check out my web store. And reaching out to German language customers, it looks like that the pre-orders for the German edition, again German edition, of John Company by Cole Worley and Whirligig will start in February, and I'm really very excited for this game. And if you followed the Kickstarter campaigns and the updates for the English edition by Cole, you know that this game will be interesting and that it is quite a change from the first edition of John Company, which was already a fine game in my opinion. Yeah. And Daniel is saying Crescent City Cargo is a great, played it twice this weekend. Yes, it's a very fine game by Jason, and if I remember correctly, I think we sat on the same table at BGGCon 2019 in Dallas while we were still testing the game and presenting it to Stronghold games. At least I think so. And hello Chris, hello, good seeing you in the UK, and hopefully, yes, because Nick mentioned this earlier, LariaCon, hopefully we can meet in Portugal in late March, early April. Yeah, Daniel is saying, yeah, that was a great play too. Yeah, I was just watching you, so I saw all the mistakes you did, Daniel. No, you played very well. Pricing. So Asmodee has announced a second significant price increase for their whole range of games. So I think the first price increase came in the summer of this year. I think in January already of next year they will increase the price again. And this is not because Asmodee are especially greedy people, not at all. Or maybe they are. No, it is because gaming components, raw materials, shipping, everything gets a lot more expensive. So I think that everyone will notice that prices for games will go up in general. So what this means, I don't know. Right now, of course, the market is increasing, but you know, tabletop games are viewed differently from video games, where you aren't getting a physical product at all, but a lot of gamers are still shaking their boxes. This isn't too heavy, can't be worth 50 euros or 70 euros. And so we'll see what will happen here. And yeah, and thank you, Nick, for putting in the dates for LariaCon. It's from the 31st of March till 3rd of April next year. And next year, so at LariaCon, the organizers from Spiel Portugal, they are limiting the numbers. They are capping the numbers. So if you are interested in attending this convention, you should get tickets online in advance. So this is a rather smaller convention, so please check it out. But I can't recommend it highly enough. It's, in my opinion, the best convention you can attend in everywhere, so anywhere. So it's really wonderful. Uftatal is saying Spielworxx games are worth every cent. Of course they are. Now, it always depends. You see, if you're buying a small card game for 10 euros, $10, and aren't playing it at all, so I think it's 10 euros wasted. If you're buying a 150 euro game that is huge and amazing, has hundreds of different miniatures, and if you're playing it just a couple of times with your friends, I think it's money well spent. If you put this 150 euro game, of course, just into your closet, I'm not sure if it's a great investment. It really depends, in my opinion. Yeah, and Nick, you're absolutely right. Art isn't sold like potatoes by the kilogram. But sometimes I think that we tabletop gamers are not, we, of course, we are the ones who know everything, but that a lot of gamers still are shaking the boxes. No, not enough content, can't be good. Well, Spielworxx in 2022. So we have an ambitious program for next year. There will be more Matt. There will be more Ode and Mike. There will be Evan Holbert. There will be Uwe Rosenberg. There will be 18XX. And there will be joint ventures with New Mill Industries, so with Tony Miller and Daniel Newman, and with Nick Case. So I'm really looking forward to this. And you saw some illustrations, some small pictures on Twitter recently on Pilgrim, which is coming along, in my opinion, really nicely graphically, but game design wise, Nick has done a really wonderful job. So please look forward to that game, keep it in mind. And I'll present more info on all these projects here in the chat, in the news on my website, and in my newsletter in the coming weeks and months. What did I play? So I played 2 coal-themed games with my wife recently. So the first one was Coal Baron, German title is Glückauf, and that was this card game. So I think in Germany at least, they call it das große Kartenspiel, large card game, because it's basically, you need the full table for it. And it had been produced by Eggert Spiele, when it was still Eggert Spiele, independent, in 2016. It is by Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling, so two expert designers. And the other game I played was Spielefables Schichtwechsel by Thomas Spitzer. In my opinion, Cold Baron Glückauf is pretty good. I like the auction, not the auction, the action selection mechanic very much, because the costs, if you want to conduct an action and you want to do it again, they increase. So every time you are selecting an action, the costs increase. And this is, in my opinion, well done. Is it a coal game? I'm not that sure. The theme is pretty thin, but overall I liked the game. And if you like Thomas Spitzer's earlier coal games, you may also like Schichtwechsel. Personally, it did not grab me. Some things are very thematic, so how you get coal, how to get it from down the earth up, and how you produce it, so that's pretty thematic, but other elements are not at all. And I fear that the different elements are not working well together. They aren't connected well, in my opinion. And I also have a suspicion that there are some strategies in Schichtwechsel that are much better than others. But I've played the game only once, and already now I'm sounding like your typical BGG user. So, hey, this game is broken, some strategies are better. No, I don't know. And if you are interested in this topic, please check out Schichtwechsel by Thomas Spitzer. This is only a German edition, but the tiles, the cards in the game, they have no text, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there is a fan translation of the rules at BGG. So if you get a chance, or if you get hold of a copy, I think you can play with a German language copy. Yeah. And there is some comment. Yeah, and Daniel is saying we should probably start teasing London Necropolis Railway soon. Yeah, and we have to start in January with this. I agree. And Daniel is saying I love Cold Baron, the original, more than the card version. I think so too. I had a thematic problem, but this is from memory. I haven't played the board game for ages. I had a problem, I think, if you dug for coal, that you could dig close to the surface and hundreds of meters into the earth at the same time, which of course makes no sense. If you have access to coal 10 meters behind the surface, you wouldn't dig deeper. But maybe I'm wrong. So, but I agree that I think that the board game is a little bit stronger than the card game. But the card game is good. So I'm not saying it's bad, not at all. And Matt is confirming that the coal theme comes across better in the board game than in the card game. Yeah, pulling it out of the mine at all, I agree. And Nick is saying that he's owning Schichtwechsel, I guess, and managed to get an English copy of the rules at Essen. So it's not only a fan-based rule set available, so apparently a really professionally produced version. Some strategies being better than others doesn't mean that a game is broken. Yeah, I agree, Daniel, but you know, I just wanted to say how some BGG users are terming it. They think some strategies are better, and then they immediately cry this game is broken. They've played it also only once, and this really is a very bad thing in my opinion. So, but again, Coal Baron, yes, you should play it. Schichtwechsel, after one play, do I play it again? I'm not sure. But if you are in this type of games, you should check it out. And I've read some comments that the graphics aren't good. I think they are really well done. At least from aesthetics point of view, I like it. It looks, the colors feel well. Of course, seeing some of these smallish cards from a meter away, so it's more difficult, but still overall I like the look of the game as well. More Spielworxx games. So I talked here a few times, you may remember, about the game Quebec. And with the help of the Brood of Brooklyn, with Daniel, I was able to get in touch with the two designers of that title. And well, we signed a contract. So in 2024, 3 years from now, there will be a new Spielworxx edition of Quebec coming. So really exciting for this. And here is some info on the background of the game from Philippe, one of the two designers. And let me read it here, because I like what he wrote. So Quebec was supposed to first come out for the 400-year anniversary of Quebec City in 2008. This is why the game is divided into 4 centuries. A publisher had signed the game to do just that, but eventually they gave up on it. Then Christian Lemay, owner of, and sorry for my bad pronunciation, Le Scorpion Masque, who personally enjoys games of any size, but had been publishing only smaller party or family games, loved Quebec so much that he decided it would be his first big box. We worked a lot with his team and him on game development. We introduced event cards, tuned the powers, etc. We showed Quebec at Essen in 2011 at the Istari booth, and it was played non-stop on 3 tables, gathering excellent reviews from German players. Unfortunately, a few months before the release, a popular Board Game Geek user did a homemade copy of the game and left a middle-of-the-road review that was our only rating for a while. It had quite a bit of influence and contributed to a slow debut for the game. In the years since, however, Quebec has kept getting very positive reviews on BGG from people discovering it years after it came out, just like me, and calling it a hidden gem or deserving to be better known. This rediscovery by board game lovers culminated with a YouTube channel Heavy Cardboard, so shout out to Edward, playing the game twice on stream and giving me the best compliment I'm likely to ever get as a board game designer. You would tell me that this is a Knizia design and I'd believe you. Rainer Knizia was the first designer I really admired and still keeps a special place in my heart. So this is, in my opinion, at least a wonderful write-up by Philippe. So thank you for that. And what does attract me to the game, to Quebec, is first, it's relatively easy to learn. It has a nice theme topic. It has an excellent action selection system where others can participate. And it has an outstanding, and I cannot really stress this enough, it has an outstanding cascading scoring mechanism. So I'm really happy that there will be a new edition of Quebec. Yeah. And Daniel is saying, yay, Quebec from Spielworxx, it is. Yeah, and yeah, it is great. And he's saying, I get a finder's fee, right? Yes, a Smoky Valley copy. Claude is saying also great news. And when I talked to Philippe and Pierre, they mentioned you, Claude. They said that they talked to you 10 years ago, 11 years ago about the game. So they must be pretty local, of course. And Matt is saying tar and feather that BGG use. It is what it is. And there's Andre, the local Roosters resident from Hagen. Good seeing you, Andre. Yeah, and we need to be happy. We must be happy here, the Roosters. We won finally a game on Sunday. And that was really needed. We are still in danger of relegation to DL2, but winning a game after all these COVID issues of team quarantine and then mental problems and all that, it felt very good. Daniel is confirming. I love that cascading scoring. Yeah, that is really a wonderful mechanic. Yeah, Nore IC, of course. Yeah, Quebec, but 2024 there will be some games before that. It will be, of course, all new artwork. We will have some changes. Hopefully we will have a solitaire mode in the game as well, and there was a family version included, which is only slightly less difficult to play, so it doesn't help a lot in complexity, and it's removing a lot of the excellent cascading system, so we will definitely get rid of this version. That's for sure. So finally, before I close here, I don't know, what is Claude saying? I played the game on the table last night to play with the family today or tomorrow. So yeah, this is I think you'll have a great time, Claude, with the game. Don't play the family version, play the full version. It's not more difficult, and you'll have a great time. There's a lot of thinking in Quebec for sure. But there will be a few changes to the Spielworxx chat in 2022, so starting in January. I will move season 3 of the Spielworxx chat to a bi-weekly plus schedule. So what does bi-weekly plus mean? So I will present Spielworxx and industry news and often have guests here every other week. And episodes with guests will be a little bit longer than 30 minutes on average, so probably 45 to 60 minutes. And moreover, I will do special episodes, that's bi-weekly plus, when a new game will be released or go to pre-order, or when something important in the industry is happening. So for example, Spielworxx is purchasing Embracer Group or Hasbro. So I'm doing a 30 minutes episode at that time. So I will change this a little bit. And I've done this Spielworxx chat since April 27 of 2020, and I only missed 3 weeks in all this time. So I think I need some more time here on some Tuesdays at least, but fear not, or maybe the opposite. I won't stop, just move to a little bit of a different schedule. So next week there will be no chat, but I'm back on January 11 with probably even 2 guests, which I'll announce pretty soon, and hopefully you'll join us at that time. Let me see some more here. Claude is saying yes, both authors are local. Yeah. And Matt is saying the BGG users handle who left that first negative review for Quebec is out for blood agenda. Maybe. I don't think so. A bit on the nose. Yeah, that is more what I like. And thank you, Matze here. Have a great year. And this is also to everybody, have a great start into next year. And hopefully, despite the recent bad news, for COVID, hopefully the situation will improve. If you aren't boosted yet, if you did not have the third vaccination, get it as soon as possible. I can't stress this enough. So thank you for your time, and if you have some questions, if you like to talk about a topic in advance, or have something else, please drop me a mail at uli@spielworxx.de. That is uli@spielworxx.de. And so till January 11, Have a great start into next year and bleibt alle gesund. Black Lives Matter. Bye bye.